My friend, words are powerful. A single sentence can inspire a nation, and one careless word can destroy a relationship forever. Intelligent men understand this truth. Your words shape your world. They know that once words leave your mouth, you cannot take them back. That is why truly intelligent men are careful about what they say, when they say it, and how they say it. Let me ask you, have you ever said something in anger and then later regretted it? Have you ever spoken words that hurt someone you cared about, even though you did not mean to? Have you ever felt embarrassed because your own words made you look weak or foolish? If you have, then you know how dangerous careless speech can be. Intelligent men, the men who gain respect, power, and influence, are not only judged by their actions but also by their words. People remember what you say. People measure your character through your words. That is why an intelligent man avoids certain types of speech. He refuses to speak in ways that make him small, weak, or powerless. Today, we are going to explore 9 things an intelligent man never says. As you listen, I want you to reflect on your own life. Do you sometimes use these words? Do you allow careless speech to limit your growth? By the end of this lesson, you will know exactly what to avoid, and you will begin to understand how powerful it is to speak with wisdom. Let us begin. 1. I can't do it. An intelligent man never says, I can't do it. These 4 words may sound simple, but they are dangerous. The moment you say them, you place heavy chains on yourself. You lock the door to growth before you even try to open it. Saying, I can't, is not just describing reality. It is deciding your future. It is choosing failure before making an effort. That is why intelligent men avoid these words completely. They understand that success begins with belief. Think for a moment about the people who changed the world. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, failed thousands of times before he finally created a working design. Imagine if he had said, I can't do it, after his first failure. Imagine if he had said those words after the 10th, the 100th, or even the 1000th attempt. If he had, the world might still be in darkness. But Edison never spoke defeat. Instead, he kept saying, I will try again. This is what separates the intelligent man from the ordinary man. He refuses to let his words destroy his chances. When you say, I can't, your brain stops working. You do not search for solutions because your words have already told your mind there is no point. But when you say, how can I do it? Something changes. The question opens your mind. You begin to think. You look for answers. You search for different paths. A single change in language can change your entire mindset. Intelligent men know this, and that is why they avoid words of weakness. Of course, intelligent men are not blind to reality. They understand that not everything is possible. They know they cannot turn back time or fly without machines. But even when something seems impossible, they do not close the door with powerless words. Instead of saying, I can't do it, they say, I have not found the way yet. This keeps the door of possibility open. It keeps hope alive. Let me give you another example. Imagine a young man who wants to start his own business. He looks around and sees many obstacles. He has little money, little experience, and no one to guide him. A weak man would look at the situation and say, I can't do it. The challenge is too big. And with that one sentence, his dream dies before it begins. But an intelligent man sees the same obstacles and chooses different words. He says, "This will be hard, but how can I start? What small step can I take today?" These words give him power. Maybe he cannot build his business in one day, but he can learn, plan, and take action step by step. Saying, "I can't," is like planting weeds in your mind. The weeds spread, and soon they cover everything. But saying, "I will try," or "How can I do it?" is like planting a seed of possibility. With time, that seed grows into strength, action, and success. Intelligent men understand that their future is created by the words they speak today. That is why they never use words that weaken them. The next time you face something difficult, listen carefully to yourself. When the voice inside your head wants to say, "I can't do it," stop. Replace those words with better ones. Say, "I will try." Say, "How can I do this?" Say, "I may not know yet, but I will learn." These words will give you the courage to move forward. They will help you grow stronger with every challenge. Remember this truth, my friend. The intelligent man never speaks defeat into existence. He chooses words of possibility, not words of weakness. And because of that, he always finds a way forward. 2. That's not my fault. Another thing you will never hear from an intelligent man is constant blame. Weak men spend their lives pointing fingers at everyone around them. When something goes wrong, their first reaction is to say, "It's not my fault." They blame the government, the economy, their parents, their teachers, their boss, or even their friends. They live as if the world is against them. But while they are busy blaming, their lives remain stuck. Nothing changes because blame never solves a problem. The intelligent man understands that blame is a trap. He knows that even if something truly isn't his fault, shouting about it will not improve the situation. He realizes that saying, "It's not my fault," only removes his own power. When you focus on blame, you give away control of your life. You say, in other words, "My life is in the hands of other people." But an intelligent man never wants to give away that control. Instead, he focuses on what he can do, how he can adapt, and how he can grow from the challenge. Imagine two men working on the same project at their job. The project fails. The first man says, "It's not my fault." The others didn't do their part. He feels good for a moment because he believes he is not responsible. But nothing changes. He stays in the same place, without progress. The second man, on the other hand, looks at the situation and says, "The project failed. I take responsibility. I will fix it." This man gains respect. People around him see that he has courage and leadership. Even if he was not fully responsible, his decision to take ownership makes him powerful. Which man will be trusted with bigger responsibilities in the future? Of course, the second one. Intelligent men know that taking responsibility is not about accepting blame for everything. It is about accepting power. When you say, "I will fix it," you give yourself the ability to act. You stop waiting for others to change, and you begin to change the situation yourself. This is the mindset of leaders, achievers, and intelligent men. Think about life itself. Many things may not be your fault. It may not be your fault that you were born in poverty. It may not be your fault that you had difficult parents. It may not be your fault that someone treated you unfairly. But here is the truth. It is always your responsibility to decide what to do next. You cannot change the past, but you can choose your response. Intelligent men never waste their words blaming others, because they know that blame does not build the future. This is why an intelligent man saves his energy for solutions. Instead of complaining, he asks, "What can I do now? How can I learn from this experience? What steps can I take to move forward?" These questions open the door to progress. The weak man is trapped in the past with blame. The intelligent man moves into the future with responsibility. So remember this: the intelligent man never says, "That's not my fault." He chooses power over excuses. And because of that, he earns respect, he grows stronger, and he becomes a leader of his own life. 3. That's impossible. An intelligent man never closes the door of possibility with the word impossible. These two words, when spoken carelessly, can kill dreams before they even begin. History is full of examples of people who were told something could never be done. For centuries, people believed that flying was impossible. They laughed at the Wright brothers when they built their first flying machine. They said, "Man was never meant to fly." Yet today, millions of people travel through the air every single day. What was once called impossible is now ordinary. The same thing happened with communication. There was a time when people thought it was impossible to send a message across the world in seconds. Letters took weeks or months to arrive. If someone said back then, "One day we will talk to someone in another country instantly," people would laugh. They would say, "That's impossible." But today, we use phones and video calls without even thinking about it. What was once impossible is now normal life. Another example is space travel. Walking on the moon was once the wild dream of poets and storytellers. Many believed it could never happen. Yet in 1969, human beings walked on the surface of the moon. What people called impossible was proven to be possible through courage, effort, and belief. When a man says, "That's impossible," he shows that his mind is limited. He is not describing the truth. He is exposing his lack of imagination. But when a man says, "I don't know how yet, but maybe it's possible," he shows intelligence and openness. Intelligent men understand that progress begins with belief. The moment you believe something is possible, your brain begins to look for solutions. You begin to ask new questions, test new ideas, and move toward achievement. Of course, intelligent men are not foolish. They know that some things truly cannot be done. No one can turn back time or change the past. No one can live forever. But in most cases, what people call impossible is simply something they have not yet figured out. Intelligent men are careful with their words because they know that calling something impossible can destroy motivation before effort even begins. Think about your own life. How many times have you looked at a goal and thought, "That's impossible for me"? Maybe you wanted to learn English, start a business, or build a better body. At first, it felt too big. But then, when you took the first step, you realized it was not impossible. It was simply difficult. And with each step forward, what once felt impossible began to feel achievable. This is the power of belief. Intelligent men never kill the spirit of possibility with their words. Instead of saying, "That's impossible," they say, "It may be hard, but let's try." This small change in language makes all the difference. It opens the door to progress, it keeps hope alive, and it creates a future where more becomes possible every day. So remember this: the intelligent man never says, "That's impossible." He understands that most impossibilities are simply possibilities waiting for courage, effort, and time. 4. I already know that. An intelligent man never closes his mind with the words, "I already know that." These words may look harmless, but they are among the most dangerous phrases you can ever say. Why? Because the moment you speak them, you close the door to learning. You stop listening, you stop exploring, and you stop growing. Intelligent men understand that learning is a lifelong journey. They know that no matter how much they already understand, there is always something new to discover. Weak men, however, believe they know everything. They feel insulted when someone tries to teach them something. Their pride whispers in their ear, "You don't need this. You already know it." And so they ignore advice, they turn away from wisdom, and they remain stuck where they are. But intelligent men stay humble. They do not see learning as an attack on their pride. They see it as an opportunity to sharpen their skills and deepen their knowledge. Imagine being in a classroom. The teacher is explaining a concept, and you think to yourself, "I already know this." If you close your ears at that moment, you may miss a small detail that could make a big difference in your understanding. Maybe the teacher shares an example you have never heard before. Maybe they explain it in a way that connects with your life more deeply. If you say, "I already know that," you block these possibilities. But if you listen with curiosity, you might discover something new. Intelligent men always listen because they know that even a familiar lesson can be seen from a new angle. Think about great athletes, musicians, or leaders. Even at the top of their careers, they still practice the basics. A world-class boxer still practices footwork and simple punches. A famous musician still practices scales. A successful leader still reads, studies, and listens to others. They do not say, "I already know that," because they understand that mastery is built by revisiting lessons again and again, each time finding deeper meaning. Life itself is a classroom. Every person you meet, every challenge you face, every book you read can teach you something new. But if you close your mind with the words, "I already know that," you will miss these lessons. Intelligent men remain open. They know that knowledge is endless, and wisdom often comes from the most unexpected places. Sometimes, even a child can teach a man something important, if he is willing to listen. So remember this, my friend. An intelligent man is never ashamed to learn. He never blocks growth with careless words. Instead of saying, "I already know that," he asks, "What can I learn from this?" This simple change keeps his mind alive and his spirit strong. And because of that, he continues to grow while others remain stuck in the prison of pride. 5. It's not fair. Life is not fair. Intelligent men know this truth deeply. Weak men, however, waste their energy complaining about fairness. They repeat the same phrase again and again. It's not fair. They point to others who have more money, better opportunities, or easier lives, and they feel angry inside. But the more they complain, the weaker they become. They do not move forward because all their attention is on what they cannot change. Intelligent men take a different path. Instead of crying, "It's not fair," they ask. What can I do with the situation I have? Think about two young men growing up in the same poor neighborhood. Both of them see rich families driving nice cars, living in big houses, and enjoying opportunities that they cannot afford. The first young man spends his life complaining. He says, "It's not fair that they were born rich and I was born poor." His heart fills with bitterness, and he uses that bitterness as an excuse to do nothing. The second young man sees the same situation but reacts differently. He says, "Yes, life is not fair, but I will not waste my time crying about it. I will work hard, I will learn, and I will build my own future." One man becomes a victim, the other becomes a fighter. Which man is intelligent? Of course, the second. Complaining about fairness is dangerous because it removes your power. When you say, "It's not fair," you are telling yourself that you are helpless, that your destiny is in the hands of someone else. But when you accept that life is not fair and still decide to take action, you become powerful. Intelligent men know that no one is born with perfect circumstances. Everyone has challenges, struggles, and disadvantages. But instead of wasting energy comparing themselves to others, intelligent men focus on what they can control. Life gives some people better starting points. It's true. But your starting point does not decide your ending point. Many great men in history were born in poverty, faced discrimination, or suffered unfair treatment. Yet they refused to let unfairness stop them. They chose to rise anyway. They worked harder, learned more, and created opportunities where none existed. That is what makes them intelligent and successful. When you say, "It's not fair," you become bitter. And bitterness is poison. It kills hope, it kills dreams, and it kills your motivation. Intelligent men refuse to drink that poison. Instead, they choose strength. They say, "Yes, life is unfair, but I will play the hand I have been given. I will make the best of it. I will grow no matter what." So, my friend, remember this. Fairness is a dream, but reality is often harsh. Intelligent men do not waste words demanding a perfect world. They focus on building a better future with the tools they already have. And because of this mindset, they rise above unfairness and become stronger than those who complain. 6. I don't care. An intelligent man does not waste words saying, "I don't care," especially when he actually does. These words may sound small, but they carry deep meaning. They make you appear cold, lazy, or disconnected from life. People around you start to believe you lack passion or responsibility. Intelligent men know the truth. Caring is not weakness, it is strength. It shows that you are alive, engaged, and willing to take responsibility. Think about a student who fails an important exam. When his friends ask him about it, he quickly replies, "I don't care." But inside, he feels pain. He feels disappointment. He knows he wanted to do better. By saying, "I don't care," he's lying to himself and trying to hide his emotions. Intelligent men do not lie in this way. Instead, they face the truth with courage. If they fail, they admit it hurts. They may say, "Yes, I care about this result, but I will learn from it. I will improve next time." That is the language of strength. The words you speak are powerful because words shape identity. If you say, "I don't care" once, maybe it doesn't matter. But if you repeat it again and again, it becomes a habit. Soon, you begin to believe it. You truly stop caring about things that actually matter: your health, your relationships, your growth, and your dreams. And once you stop caring, you stop trying. A man without care becomes a man without purpose. Intelligent men understand this danger, so they choose their words carefully. Caring is not a weakness. It takes courage to care. It takes courage to admit you want something, to work for it, and to risk failing. A man who says, "I don't care," is often protecting himself from disappointment. But intelligent men know that disappointment is part of growth. They would rather care deeply, fail honestly, and rise again than pretend they are too strong to care. Imagine a man who tells his partner, "I don't care," every time she asks about his feelings. Over time, she begins to believe him. She feels unloved and unimportant. The relationship slowly dies, not because he truly didn't care, but because his careless words created a false reality. Intelligent men avoid this mistake. They express their feelings honestly. They know that saying, "I care," builds connection and trust, while saying, "I don't care," destroys it. So, my friend, remember this. Words are not empty. They are seeds. What you plant with your tongue will grow in your life. If you plant, "I don't care," you will grow apathy, laziness, and disconnection. If you plant, "I care, and I will try," you will grow strength, responsibility, and success. Intelligent men never let careless words shape their destiny. They choose words of truth, words of responsibility, and words that keep their heart alive. 7. I hate you. An intelligent man never wastes his words on hate. Hate is a heavy weight, one that is far more dangerous to the person who carries it than to the person it is aimed at. Words like, "I hate you," may feel powerful in a moment of anger, but they leave scars on the speaker's soul. Weak men, in the heat of emotion, often shout these words. They think they are strong when they express their anger, but in reality, they are giving their power away to negativity. Intelligent men, however, understand the deep cost of hatred. They know that words spoken in anger cannot be taken back, and the damage is often lasting. Even when someone hurts them deeply, intelligent men choose their words carefully. They do not allow themselves to be controlled by temporary emotion. Instead of saying, "I hate you," they may say, "I am disappointed," or "I need distance from you for now." These words are honest, firm, and controlled. They communicate boundaries without poisoning relationships or leaving permanent damage. Intelligent men understand that hate does not solve problems. It does not heal wounds. It does not bring respect or power. It only consumes the mind and heart of the person holding it. Hate is dangerous because it burns bridges. It closes doors forever. When you say, "I hate you," you often remove any chance of reconciliation, of understanding, or even of peace. You create enemies where none might have existed. Intelligent men value both their reputation and their inner peace. They know that keeping their mind clear and their heart free from hatred is far more valuable than winning an argument or venting anger. Think about the people you have known who frequently say, "I hate you," in moments of anger. How do they live their lives? Often they are stressed, anxious, and trapped in cycles of anger. Their energy is spent holding on to resentment instead of building their own future. Now think about someone who experiences the same challenges but never speaks words of hate. Instead, he expresses himself with honesty, sets boundaries, and focuses on solutions. He carries a lighter heart and moves forward with strength, clarity, and purpose. Hate may feel like power in the moment, but it is actually weakness. Intelligent men know that words have the power to destroy or to build. By refusing to speak hate, they protect themselves and others. They choose words that bring understanding, solutions, and calm. They know that true strength is not in the loud expression of anger, but in the quiet mastery of emotion. So remember, my friend, never let hatred pass through your lips. Words are seeds, and hate will only grow bitterness and pain. Intelligent men speak with wisdom, with control, and with respect. They protect their heart, their peace, and their future. By refusing to say, "I hate you," they rise above weakness and live with power. 8. I'll do it tomorrow. Procrastination destroys more dreams than failure ever could. Saying, "I'll do it tomorrow," may feel harmless, but it is one of the most dangerous phrases a person can use. Weak men hide behind it every day. They delay their goals, postpone their responsibilities, and convince themselves that they will act later. The problem is that later often never comes. Intelligent men know this truth deeply. They understand that tomorrow is not guaranteed and that the only time to act is now. When you say, "I'll do it tomorrow," you are teaching your mind to delay. You are creating a habit of laziness, hesitation, and avoidance. Each time you delay, you weaken your ability to act. Over time, your confidence diminishes and your dreams begin to fade. Opportunities pass by quietly while you wait for tomorrow. The job you wanted, the chance to learn, the possibility to grow. These things do not wait. Intelligent men do not allow themselves to be caught in the trap of postponement. They know that the future belongs to those who act today. Discipline is built in the present moment. It is created with small, consistent steps taken every day. Intelligent men understand this. They do not wait for motivation, perfect conditions, or the right time. They start now. Even if it is only one small step, they move forward immediately. Saying, "I will start today, even with the small step," is far more powerful than any excuse about tomorrow. Action, no matter how small, builds momentum. It strengthens the mind, sharpens focus, and moves dreams closer to reality. Think about great men and women in history. They did not wait for the perfect moment to start. They started with what they had, where they were, and with the time they were given. The Wright brothers did not wait for perfect weather to build their airplane. Thomas Edison did not wait for inspiration to invent the light bulb. They began with small steps and continued relentlessly. Every achievement we see today is the result of someone saying, "I will start now," rather than, "I'll do it tomorrow." Opportunities disappear when you delay. A conversation not had today may never happen. A skill not practiced today will remain weak. A chance not taken today may be lost forever. Intelligent men understand this reality. They do not waste their words or their time on excuses. They know that the difference between success and failure is often a single decision. The decision to act now rather than later. So, my friend, remember this. The phrase, "I'll do it tomorrow," is the enemy of achievement. Intelligent men refuse to say it. They start now. They take action today, and they understand that every small step forward builds a future of strength, growth, and success. Don't wait for tomorrow. Act today, because today is all you truly have. 9. I give up. Finally, we reach the most dangerous words a man can ever say. I give up. These words sound simple, but they carry a heavy weight. They are a declaration of surrender. They close the door to possibility, stop action, and weaken the spirit. Weak men often speak these words when they feel tired, overwhelmed, or defeated. But intelligent men understand something crucial. Saying, I give up, is not just expressing a feeling. It is creating your reality. Once you speak those words, your mind often believes them, and your energy follows. That is why intelligent men refuse to allow these words to pass through their lips. Even when an intelligent man feels exhausted or faces repeated failure, he chooses words of strength and resilience. He may say, I need a break, or I will try a different approach. These words acknowledge reality. They admit that the situation is difficult, but they do not surrender. They keep the mind and spirit active. Intelligent men understand that challenges are not reasons to quit. They are opportunities to grow stronger. Each obstacle faced is a step forward. Each failure endured is a lesson learned, and each small action taken is progress toward eventual success. History is full of examples of people who succeeded immediately after the moment they felt closest to giving up. Thomas Edison faced thousands of failures before inventing the light bulb. J.K. Rowling received countless rejection letters before publishing Harry Potter. Abraham Lincoln lost multiple elections before becoming one of the greatest leaders in history. The common thread in all these stories is simple. They did not give up. Even when circumstances seemed impossible, even when the world told them to quit, they continued. Intelligent men learn from this example. They know that persistence is more powerful than talent, more powerful than luck, and more powerful than circumstance. Saying, I give up, is easy. It feels like relief in the moment, a temporary escape from pressure and disappointment. But intelligent men know that true relief comes from action, not surrender. They may pause, they may rest, and they may rethink their approach, but they never stop moving forward entirely. Even small steps, repeated consistently, create unstoppable momentum. The man who keeps going, even slowly, cannot be defeated. So, my friend, remember this. Intelligent men never say, I give up. They protect their words, their mind, and their spirit from surrender. They understand that words create reality. By refusing to speak defeat, they strengthen themselves, inspire others, and continue their journey toward success. Every challenge becomes an opportunity. Every failure becomes a lesson, and every small step becomes progress. That is the power of refusing to give up. Final words. Speak like an intelligent man. My friend, now you understand the 9 things an intelligent man never says. He never says, I can't do it. He never says, that's not my fault. He never says, that's impossible. He never says, I already know that. He never says, it's not fair. He never says, I don't care. He never says, I hate you. He never says, I'll do it tomorrow. And he never says, I give up. Each of these phrases may seem small, but they carry enormous power. They shape the way you think, the way you act, and ultimately, the life you create. Words are not just sounds, they are seeds. The seeds you plant today will grow into the reality you live tomorrow. Speak weakness, and weakness grows. Speak defeat, and defeat becomes your reality. Speak strength, and strength begins to shape your life. Speak hope, and hope lights your path. Every word you speak is a reflection of your mindset. That is why the intelligent man chooses his words with care. He knows that language is not only a way to communicate with others, but also a way to communicate with himself. Your mind listens to your words, and your actions follow where your words lead. Here on English Achieve, we teach that your words are tools of power. Every day you have the chance to use them wisely. Avoid the language of weakness and embrace the language of growth. Choose words that inspire, words that encourage, words that push you forward even when life is difficult. Respect, success, and personal power are all built one word at a time, one phrase at a time. Your future is being created with every sentence you speak. So, my friend, from this day forward, speak like an intelligent man. Let your words reflect courage, wisdom, and strength. Let them guide you toward success, growth, and the life you truly desire. Watch your words. They are building your destiny.